Among Us is a video game created in 2018 by Sloth as their third game. In Among Us, you're put in a lobby with 4 to 15 people, where everybody is assigned a role. The main two are crewmate and imposter. There are some extra roles which we can talk about later, but those are the main two. Crewmates have to walk around the ship and complete their tasks. Imposters have to sabotage the crewmates by killing them off one by one and cutting oxygen and lights. Crewmates can call meetings to talk about who they want to vote off of the ship. There are many maps in Among Us. There's Mera HQ, a complex corporate headquarters with a scanner on every door for people to see at a computer. The airship, a giant blimp with very complex rooms that are hard to navigate. The main gimmick of the airship is that there are ladders for navigating different floors and moving platforms. This whole map is actually a reference to a level of Henry Stickmin, which is an older Inner Sloth game for another video. Polis is a cold planetary research base with a big lava pool. There are decontamination chambers on this map, which act as a place for imposters to kill. The main difference in this map is that you can see vitals on a monitor. This map is the best for imposters and gives you the most paranoia while playing. The Scaled is the original map. It has no unique gimmicks or anything, and it's shaped like a turtle.
I like turtles!
It's a very fun map. The Fungal is the newest map, with zip lines for people to get around faster, and mushrooms where imposters can sabotage and blind the crew. All of these maps have very fun little gimmicks in them that make all of them feel different, and give the game more replayability. Among Us has 2 main roles, which I already mentioned earlier. The game has many extra variations of the crewmates and imposters. The imposters have 3 extra roles. They have the shapeshifter, an imposter who can switch into different crewmate, and they can kill people as that crewmate to frame the crewmate. There's the Viper, an acid-spitting killer who can melt bodies after killing them. There's also a phantom imposter who can go invisible and escape after a kill. The crewmates have 6 extra roles. Engineers can vent even though they aren't imposters. Scientists can check the vitals of all crew members at any time. The guardian angels can protect someone after dying. The noisemaker makes a loud noise when killed. The tracker can track anybody for a few seconds. The detective can interview 3 different people to know where they were on the ship during a murder. These roles are fun, but they are so confusing at first. Among Us came out in 2018 and didn't become popular till like 2020. Why is that? Well, 2020 was when Bo Burnham released Inside. Oh, and it's when a pandemic happened, and people were all stuck quarantining and couldn't leave their homes. All people wanted was human interaction. Because of that, many multiplayer games blew up around that time. Inner Sloth, an indie game studio who had a good history of making games, including Henry Stickmin and Dig to China. When people were looking for new online multiplayer games, Among Us immediately stood out. It was a social deduction game with a funny art style. The game is extremely simple, which of course is good because that means that full families can play easily. Even grandmas could understand how to play this game. It also is very fun. If you aren't too competitive, then it can be funny to be an imposter and slowly kill people and watch them throw people out of the ship who aren't the imposters. Among Us blew up due to simplicity. The reason it's slowly dying now is because of updates. Among Us started with 2 roles. They now have 11 official roles. Among Us also had only 1 game mode, the normal one, and they didn't have cosmic cubes. And they also didn't have beans or stars. Cosmic cubes are these things that have like cosmetics that you buy with stars, and stars are in-game currency and you have to play to get the cosmic cube coins, and they're just Among Us battle passes. Stars you can only get by paying for, and beans are another currency that you get by playing the game. Trying to explain the detective to my friend who hasn't played in 4 years is like trying to teach a 2-year-old color theory. It's depressing. There are some good things that have happened through updates. New banners and colors are good. All the new maps are fun, and 15-player lobbies are awesome. I think that the Engineer, Guardian Angel, Scientist, and Shapeshifter are fine, but the others are so confusing and just too hard to play as. Among Us has had 2 spin-off games. Among Us VR and Among Us 3D. Among Us VR was awesome when it came out, and was the first voice chat experience I had, where people used critical thinking. Among Us VR is the most paranoia-inducing game ever created. I've never been so scared of big beans with legs. Among Us VR has had many updates, and has had more roles than the original game ever will have. It has had too many for me to count. Among Us VR has sadly already been filled with 8-year-olds screaming about how they were falsely voted off. Among Us 3D is a flat-screen version, so there isn't much to say about that game. Among Us isn't a bad game. It's still awesome. I still play it with my friends. The updates have just kind of thrown it off track. I think that if you just get a group of friends and play Among Us, it's always a good time. Anywho, I've got to get going. I've got a reservation at Home Depot. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry to break this to you, but that Among Us show is never coming out. 5,000 boys.